Welcome to the Caitlin Clark March Madness episode of Minding the Gap podcast. It's prediction time, Dr. B. March Madness is here. Have you filled out your bracket?
I have. I'm excited about it.
We're going to find out who's the best predictor of basketball games in this office. And maybe the listeners are doing some predicting too. The brain is a prediction machine. We're making predictions constantly in order to protect ourselves and accomplish important things in our lives. Today, we're going to talk about what Iowa Hawkeyes national phenom Caitlin Clark can teach us about achieving goals in mental health and relationship health using prediction, practice, and adjustment to prediction mistakes. I'm Paul Bakke alongside Dr. David Barnhart, licensed counselors with Behavioral Sciences of Alabama. Dr. Barnhart, I just happened to be flipping channels last season on a Sunday afternoon. I saw that Iowa was playing Indiana. It was a close game with a few minutes left. Never heard or seen Caitlin Clark play before, but I tuned in because I'm actually an Iowa Hawkeyes fan. My dad went to college there. My family's from Iowa. So Caitlin Clark immediately jumped off the screen with her scoring, passing, and dribbling. Down by 4 seconds left. It seemed to be a safe prediction. Hawkeyes would lose, but Caitlin Clark hit a three-pointer, defender's hand right in her face to win the game. Crowd went wild. I was yelling at my wife, "Come watch the replay!" And I was hooked. So I decided before the season, I need to go see her play live, and I did, and it was awesome. I told you about it, told everybody else about it. I was excited all year about it. It was great. So today, I'm ready with my merch, my basketball. Got my Caitlin Clark from the logo.
Let's see it.
Water bottle.
Oh, perfect.
Because she shoots three-pointers from the logo, which is a really long way away. I've got my, wait for it. My, you break it, you own it.
Caitlin
Clark shirt.
Okay. Oh, looking good.
When she broke the NCAA record. So I'm ready to talk about her and what she can teach us about mental health and emotional health and relationship health based on the idea of the brain as a prediction machine. So first, can you talk a little bit about what that means?
I can. I'd rather hear you talk about Caitlin Clark, but so our brains are prediction machines. And one of the things that we find is that because we have this gap between when something occurs and we have conscious awareness, it can be 500 to 600 milliseconds before an experience actually registers in our conscious awareness. Parts of the brain, like the amygdala, for example, can react to a potential threat or some kind of visual cue or auditory cue in less than 50 milliseconds. And the gap between processing and conscious awareness is part of our challenge in changing our behavior, emotional reactions, and our perceptions of reality. So there are basically four elements, Paul. The first is a generative model, meaning our brain is generating information constantly under our awareness. The second is the moment-by-moment predictions it makes. The third is the brain generates prediction errors. So when something doesn't match, prediction errors occur whenever incomplete or incorrect predictions attempt to meet and account for sensory evidence. And the fourth is the estimations of precision that alter the relative impact of sensory stimulations and predictions. So what's really going on is in perception, our brain responds to prediction errors by seeking a better guess at what is out there. Here's an example. So if you're walking in a dimly lit room and see a shadowy figure, I've seen some of those, your brain might initially predict that it's a person. However, if the figure turns out to be a coat hanging on a chair, your brain will use the sensory evidence of the coat and the prior information that coats are often found on chairs to correct its prediction. all of this happens underneath our conscious awareness. So when there is a mismatch, the brain uses sensory evidence and prior information from the experience to fill in that fragment of information created by the error.
Okay.
So there you go.
Okay.
We don't have to repeat that, do we?
No, we don't have to repeat that. But we do want to talk about how that relates to our own emotional and mental and relationship health, and also how to use Caitlin Clark's example of her prediction ability. One of the things about sports is that they're also about predictions. Predicting someone's going to be open for a pass, the defender's movements to free herself up for shots, predicting the touch and force needed so she can make shots from the logo, which is a long way from the basket. Her coaches have consistently said that she sees or predicts things that other players don't see. Her prediction process is really fast. So how does she or anybody else develop these kinds of correct predictions? They take a mix of talent and a lot of practice. Thousands of repetitions broken down into specific skills, ball handling, touch, moves to create shots, working with teammates, game speed conditions, as well as cumulative game experience to create what we call automated decision making. The other important piece that you mentioned earlier is adjustment to prediction errors. And there's a lot of failure and prediction error in sports. And one of the things about Caitlin Clark, I've watched just about every game this year, she's not afraid to make mistakes. She takes tough shots, makes very difficult passes that require precision and timing. And sometimes it doesn't work. She misses shots. She makes bad passes. She gets her shot blocked every now and then. But if you watch her respond to mistakes, you'll see she doesn't hang her head or lose her cool. A big part of her success is that she is consistently making adjustments. And this has led to many game-winning plays at the end of the game where she may have struggled in the very same game earlier. Latest example is in the Big Ten tournament championship game. She scored 4 points in the first half. She was 0 for 9 from three-point range in the first half. In the second half, they were down by 11 points at one time. They were down by 8 points with 2 minutes, 47 seconds to go. The game went into overtime. She finished with 34 points, having 4 in the first half, including an amazing step-back three-pointer to take the lead back in the final minute of overtime. So what kind of skills can we learn from Caitlin Clark about prediction and adjustment to errors? Well, we make errors in predictions in relationships. There's a lot of misunderstandings in relationships, and sometimes we incorrectly predict and make judgments that may lead to mistrust, especially if we have a history of being hurt or other bad relationships. We can make adjustments by developing the skill of curiosity and asking questions rather than acting on what we don't know. We make prediction errors about achievement in school, sports, and other things, like I've studied the material, but I'm going to fail. We can practice the skill of challenging negative predictions, adjusting our thinking, accepting and adjusting to failure, and not letting fear of failure get in the way of our best effort. So these are just a few ways of many that we can learn from Caitlin Clark how to use prediction, adjustment to errors and failure, and lots of practice to achieve goals in many areas of emotional and health and relationship health. We're going to make a lot of predictions from now until the end of the day. How do we adjust to it? We can use Caitlin Clark as a great example. What do you think?
I love it. I love it. I think that's a great example. And I'm excited about Caitlin Clark. I think she's going to make it at least through Saturday. What do you think?
Well, the first game is Saturday, so yeah, I think so too. Yeah, they got 2 games at home, and it's going to be exciting. And that's the fun of sports, is that it's all about predictions, and sometimes not knowing is the fun part of it.
Yes. And our relationships are the same way.
Right.
We, using the things that you just talked about, we can use those things to change our emotional reactions, our behavior, and change the prediction so that it fits more in line with objective reality.
Make sure everybody can see my shirt. I was gonna tell you couldn't see this.
I think it's important to see your shirt.
Just realize it's not.
Now we got it. That was better. Now you got it. Very good. That's excellent.
All right. Well, I hope everybody has a great day and enjoy the tournament.
Absolutely.